Hey Cancer, how's it going? My name is Dre, and this is your reading for October 2017. I'm using Rider-Waite Smith deck, no reversals. This is the Four of Wands in the center, Strength, Six of Swords, King of Wands, Ace of Cups, Four of Swords, the Devil. It's been coming up a lot. The Hangman, and the Moon. The outcome, we have the Ace of Wands. Additional card is Judgment. So, I'm feeling a lot of tension. There's like these, with the moon here, I'm thinking of like these cycles of tension and relief, where things kind of get kind of crazy, but then like they smooth out. But then they get crazy again, and then they smooth out again. And when they're crazy, they're really crazy. When the crazy times are crazy, when the smooth times are smooth, it's like tenuous. I feel like some of you have retreated from, like, if you're a very like outgoing sort of social person, I feel like most of you now are tending like a lot to family matters. We have two fours here, and Cancer rules the fourth house. So I feel like some of you are, which is the house of home, family, nourishment, security. And so I feel like a lot of you have just started to either work more on your family or work more on, you're probably doing things around the house. But either way, I see you guys are kind of very family-centered right now. Maybe to a good thing and a bad thing. Some of you are sick. Some of you are just like overwhelmed and stressed out, and maybe a little bit confused. But I feel like you should use this time wisely. You should use it to your advantage, and really contemplate where you're going next. Like, I'm seeing it in terms of inspiration and creativity and love, because we have two aces here, cups and wands. So I feel like for some of you, it's all about trying to figure out what to do with how to get passionate, like get more passionate or get more excitement out of everything. Because I feel like things have been tense. They've been tense in a way where it's like you never thought. It was like a burden that you really had to come over. With regard to, I feel like it can be either an old lover, because there is the Six of Swords here. And that's, returning to the issue of a problem or finding a way to get out and making a run for it. But also mulling over your options, trying to figure out what is the most rational, realistic. It's like an upgraded Two of Swords. If Two of Swords is making a decision, and trying to understand that the decision we're making should be one out of diplomacy and not out of anything selfish, and we have to acquiesce sometimes to sort of reach an agreement, to not get out of a situation damaged. The Six of Swords sort of elevates that. It's like, well, you've acquired enough knowledge about the levels of this situation. And again, I'm being very general because this is for anybody. It could be for love, work, anything that you feel like you're trying to make an escape. You're trying to figure out the best way to go moving forward in your life. Dealing with family. But it's going to require you to use a higher level of perspective, because we're still stuck in sort of our conditioned ways, which is what the devil is. I feel like for some of you, it was a breakup. For some of you, it is like a marriage, or it's like you're working in a career field that it probably pays well, but is very demanding. And it's taking up a lot of your time, to the point where you're probably not able to spend more time with your family, or you realize you need to spend more time with your family. But it's still tough, because it's just like, well, what am I going to do to make, what can I do to make the best of this? You have you have other people to provide for. You have other people to take care of, or other people are counting on you. And other people are counting on you to take care of them. Other people are needing you. So yeah, I'm seeing if you're a parent. Um, it's just that there's a part of you that is too unforgiving of yourself and of maybe somebody else around you, where it's like you're kind of holding on to a grudge, you're holding on to some emotional baggage here that is distorting your view of how to make your situation better, if you're cognizant of whether or not your situation is actually better or not. And I feel like there is something happening around your family life, your home life, that is requiring your attention. Cancer being a water sign, is a very it's an energy that withdraws. So a Cancer kind of goes back into themselves and goes back into their shell, as I've heard it be explained, and just be like low key hermit for a little bit, and then they come back out and are ready to take care of everybody again. And so I feel like for you guys, you're in that point where you are withdrawing, or you haven't, or you're in that process where you're just like needing to like take a little break from everybody, and you're directing it more towards your home life. You're directing it more towards your goals, your ambitions, because the Four of Wands is also like reaching a milestone. So for some of you, you have this idea in your head of where you want to go, of what you need to do to get there. And it's just like all the puzzle pieces need to fall into place a little bit more. You need to gain a little bit more wisdom about this. You need to actually experience it a little bit before you get a taste of what else you need to do. So for some of you, it's like, if you're looking for a new job, or if you're dating, where it's just like, okay, I've been with this type of person for a long time. What am I not understanding about myself that is keeping me from actually making something work, being in a stable relationship, achieving that goal, having that, bringing that dream to reality, or a new job, making extra money, or, literally anything. So I feel like for some of you, this is going to be a process. This is going to be a process about controlling your urges, controlling your natural instincts to how you do things. Like if, probably pretty poor coping mechanisms, or things that distract your attention. Capricorn is the opposite of Cancer. So if we're looking at from Cancer being the first house, Capricorn is the seventh house. So it's probably in terms of like a commitment. Like this could be marriage. This could be a business partnership. This could be something that you're just totally involved in, that I don't want to say your life revolves around them, but huge aspects of your life are impacted by them. Or whatever, if it's not a singular person. So there is a need to, on one hand, be realistic about, especially if this is a relationship, if there is hurt, or if there is pain, or severe like disappointment, or just like, I see abuse in the Six of Swords too. Excuse me. So, any kind of abuse, but if it's like, but also like self-inflicted abuse. Like I see it as like a corollary to like the Nine of Swords as well, where it's like we're kind of selfishly hanging on to something because we're still trying to figure out how to make it work, how to, by the Nine of Swords though, it's too late. But by this card but before this, because, before sorry, oh my God, I'm rambling. But the Five of Swords is before this. And the Five of Swords is understanding that there is a new, that you can't win everything, that somebody's always going to have something over you, that, despite wanting to reach an agreement with somebody, sometimes we just have to be an asshole, or somebody will have to be an asshole to us before a situation gets settled. With the Six of Swords, it's like you've probably dealt with that too much to where now it's like, I need to make a break for it, or I need to, there's nothing I can do about this situation anymore. I understand it. I've been through so much, and it's a six, so it's balanced. So it's like you have to be able to find some sort of harmony within this, and it's like you can achieve harmony without being in the same room as somebody. You can achieve harmony without having to sacrifice a lot of things, But I feel like you should be prepared to sacrifice. The hangman is also sacrificing an idea, a perspective, a reality, a truth that we convinced ourselves with it, was a truth or a reality. So you're seeing something completely new about maybe a love relationship or a job. I'm really seeing those two heavily because of the devil, or a business deal. And so it's just like, you just need that singular idea, that one, and this will happen randomly. The aces, I feel like they do happen randomly, where it's just like you'll just get an idea of just, and you'll be like, oh, duh, how did I not see that before? Duh, it's like a eureka moment. And so after that happens, it's going to be crucial and it's going to be important to maintain control over all of this self-doubt, all of these anxieties, all of these worries. And I feel like that's why you will be taking a break. In Cancer rules the moon. Traditionally in Rider-Waite it's ruled by Pisces, but whenever I see, the moon in a Cancer reading, I attribute this to Cancer. So I feel like a lot of you are going to take a little time out and just like introspect. And if you don't do that naturally, I feel like you need to. I feel like it would be very important for you to dive into what is making you ill, what is stressing you out, what is worrying you, what you don't have control over, which is what the Four of Swords is. It's a very neutral card. It's like forcing ourselves into like this sort of purgatory, where it's like we haven't reached that point where, or we shouldn't allow ourselves to, again, reach that point to where we are back in the Five of Swords territory, because, 4, 5, and 6, 5 isn't here, but I feel like that strife, that sort of, it's not chaos, just that clashing, that Five of Swords is, that Five of Swords represents. You need a break from that. You either need to make a break for it or figure out, I don't feel like there is any way to deal with it. That's why you are sort of coming back and introspecting. And you need to make a choice. You need to make a decision that is going to be in line with your desire, with your, it's going to make you feel like you have some agency over your life. Or if this isn't you, it deals specifically with another man. So, this could be a marriage, Devil, Four of Wands, King of Wands. So the King of Wands probably has all the power, and you're finding it tough to escape him or get out of his grip or figure out a way to move beyond this. There is a way for you to do this. But I'm still feeling like all of the puzzle pieces haven't completely fallen into place, because there isn't anything you've actually sacrificed in this yet. And there isn't anything that you've woken up to that will show you that these chains are fictional. The devil is controlling the thing. He has his, his way about him. But, ultimately we're responsible for our own flesh, which is how I see this card. If it's more like a sexual power relationship where there really isn't any stability, he's more in control, it's like you have to free yourself from that. It's not anything that's good. And it's not anything, no matter how much you convince yourself it's any good, is any good. But in terms of where to go from here, I really feel like you have to see things, you have to be open and embrace new modes of getting out of whatever situation you feel like, I actually see it as, for some of you, you've come up with an idea of how to change your family life, to change your home life, to change your personal life. And I feel like a lot of you need to lead with your heart. You need to lead with your heart, but you also need to lead rationally. be unafraid to do new things, because I feel like you've learned so much from prior experience that anything you can learn now, anything new you can learn would only be a benefit. I don't see anything as being necessarily in your way, Cancer, for this month, as long as you don't let it. And I'm mainly saying that because of Strength, the Ace of Cups, and the Devil right here. The Devil is a great card. We just need to figure out what to do with that energy. With me, it's like very nervous, anxious energy. So I feel like schoolwork is a good way to sort of deal with that, because I can't really deal with it any other way. Or doing this, sometimes this makes me more anxious, but but you know, channeling that energy into something that you know, will benefit us in the long run, as long as we're positive about our goals, as long as we maintain a spirit of, you know, I'm doing this for my family, I'm doing this for the people I care about, I need to do this for myself, I need to do this because I deserve more. All right, so thank you so much, Cancer. I will see you guys in Scorpio season.